Okay, I do recognize this name, so we're going to go ahead and click green and allow this person who can already hear me as I wait for them to come online. If you would, please introduce yourself to everybody that's listening to you. We know you have a familiar handle.
Hey, how's it going?
It's going very well.
Hey, my name's Jeremy. Hey, man, I appreciate you guys taking my call. Hey, Adam, I was wondering if you had seen, I think it was like the American Thinker had put out an article saying that the Supreme Court justice would have to step down.
Yeah. Familiar.
What's your take on that?
Was this before or after I had a belly laugh?
Yeah, that's kind of what I figured, but
Yeah.
I thought I'd see what your thoughts on that were.
You know what? I'm going to answer this, and I'm going to answer it, Jeremy. Jeremy, right?
Yeah.
Okay, Jeremy. I'm going to answer it in a real serious way, almost like an academic way, rather than getting a little jocular about it. Although that's my nature, because it was shared out by our good friend Wayne Dupree, seemingly giving it a little bit more credibility in our circles, so to speak. If you go back and actually read the content of the article, you start to run into a bunch of roadblocks as far as how the rationale is explained. Now, he is correct, or I believe the author is a he of the American Thinker. I can't quite remember the name. Doesn't matter, not material to the whole thing. But what he is pointing out is that Fiona Hill, by extension of some of her testimony that was given before the Intelligence Committee, has tied herself to awareness, if not material fact witness awareness, to the Steele report, the Steele dossier, as it's better referred to. And the fact that some of these Steele dossier problems or ramifications or conflicts, if you want to call them, rose up through the FISA court process, which we're hoping to see fairly well itemized and delineated with the Horowitz report that's now kind of getting parsed through by the insiders, will be available to us next week. So what they're trying to do is, of course, for people who didn't read the article, and Jeremy has, the Chief Justice is under constitutional mandate to take up the process of holding the trial. Should impeachment articles be sent over from the House? It's in the Constitution. It was kind of like an add-on, if you would, from the concerned founders that this would not turn into a political onslaught. It would not be something where you had a president that could only serve at the pleasure of the Senate. So what they tried to do is introduce this compelling aspect of bringing all three parts of the checks and balances of the government together theoretically in one process. Now, I get all that stuff. It's a smart analytical point to bring Chief Justice Roberts into this, because he would be and will be, if they are crazy enough to send these articles over and project managers from the House and start the process. There is almost no way constitutionally, or there's certainly almost no precedence for impeachments anyway, particularly with the president being involved. You're saying their point was of the article that Fiona Hill has somehow implicated the FISA court process and meshed it together with any problems of the renewal applications. Therefore, as overseer of the FISA court, John Roberts would become a material fact witness potentially. Therefore, he would have to step down. Now, here's where the contention really gets a little tricky, and stretching out, so to speak. The contention that he would not only would he not be able to proffer any sessions of the trial or preside over them, he would need to stand down and resign as the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court, which is, you may know, Jeremy and others, that is actually a position you must be confirmed by the Senate to be in. So if you recall, when John Roberts was put on or through the nomination process, they later yanked his nomination and resubmitted his nomination as the post Rehnquist demise. They brought him back into the Senate to become the next Chief Justice. Now, very complicated process, very weighty. A lot of constitutional gravity is given to this moment, and it would not be surrendered in the name of his circumstantial position as the technical head of the review of FISA court. There are many levels of review that go on way before you get to the Supreme Court Chief Justice. So there's frankly there's no there there. This is going to be a long answer to what should have been a short question. There's no there with Fiona Hill's testimony tying the Steele dossier and somehow this being a material fact that needs to be introduced, because once we see the Horowitz report, we're going to see low-level malfeasance. In some cases, somebody may be fired. In some cases, Kevin Kleinsmith may actually have done something so egregious that charges will be filed. I'm not saying that might not happen, but that in no way plays out under the performance of the judge. You would need to find a FISA court judge that committed something that egregious, and that would be something that is reviewed by whoever oversees that particular court, which would be ultimately John Roberts. So you're 3 steps off from even this article being reality. So I want to make it very clear. I'm not openly mocking anyone for understanding that this is a intellectual exercise, if you will. It's something that could happen. And frankly, that's kind of what Twitter is 90% of the time. But in this case, I will tell you that there'd be no way to do that. And certainly this notion that Clarence Thomas would somehow initially automatically assume the duty of Chief Justice is kind of a ludicrous thing as well. That would not happen as well. So what you're doing is kind of gaslighting in a very small way. I've seen much larger gaslighting in my day, but this is not something relevant to Pelosi saying, "Oh, I'm not sending articles of impeachment over because we might lose Rhino John Roberts." And trust me, 90% of Democrats do not consider John Roberts a rhino. They consider him to be a fairly staunch conservative. And it's only been a couple decisions that have rubbed our people the wrong way. And so if I missed any point what you read in that article, this is where you follow up, Jeremy, and tell me what that is.
No, I really appreciate it. The article kind of seemed like a think piece kind of thought exercise, and I just wanted your take on that.
Yeah, it's exactly what it was, and they are not altogether harmful. The only time they're harmful is when it turns into a germinated seed and gives hope or something where hope doesn't belong. That this would actually be a blockade or in some part detrimental to the decision to send over articles of impeachment. Of all things that the House is thinking about right now, I think that this is the least possible circumstance that would dissuade them from moving forward.
Well, thank you so much. I'll hop off.
All right, Jeremy, thank you. Very good question. All right, now see, that was a perfectly executed call. I'm not much on brevity, which is why I'm not on your local radio station, that and the fact that they probably wouldn't let me on.
Thanks for watching the MAGA Coalition channel. Remember to subscribe to our channel and turn notifications on to get the best political analysis that is free of clickbait and gaslighting. Because in a world of universal deceit, telling the truth is a revolutionary